All right, I was ha yeah Pinaxtv. You best say ubejebre na ye the updates no the abremo my Ghana hane amai hodo so nsemo a yensa aka quickly no yenko President John Dramani Mahama akache na sese the President John Dramani Mahama has scored a diplomatic victory ama sese globally obia ebonidin amai hodo dodo na empening for ebonidin ewo ehonom and it said last Monday the updates bre mu chirimu a President John Dramani Mahama was to present a presentation on reparations the United Nations General Assembly na o presenti anu ni wia na omo agina so na omo ede atoaba na no na omo etoaba no eda enra ma voting no said esi koye no President John Dramani Mahama, who is leading the African Union reparations for people of Africa, any African descent no say the nyame adom about na call in favor of President John Dramani Mahama on our screens. UN passes Mahama's slave trade reparations motion na United Nations per the votes course any other no say I don't say yes men can say slavery a course so and I say nkwasoma a course so ma ye be fa Ghana and I say Africa ha be fa amount for dodo na free had you kopie mama hodo so ekoye nkwasom any other no. It is the gravest crime ever to happen to humanity. No or say amai hodo no omo ebana omo ebe pata ebibi mine ewo hono no and President John Dramani Mahama was championing ewo hono mo asese die nyame adom President John Dramani Mahama was called a diplomatic victory ewo honom na akoye ni gisem ase dem di kan obia any amai hodo do na omoto abade ma President John Dramani Mahama ne Ghana ne Africa nyina no omo ebo no abaso ewo ho na Antonio Manuel de Oliveira Gutierrez ono na UN 9th General Secretary also say na ono so de nano disem ababe tudwa enti way straight from the United Nations almost say the transatlantic slave trade was a crime against humanity that struck at the core of personhood, broke up families and devastated communities. Let us reject the false narrative of racial difference and fully commit to human rights, equality, and the inherent worth of every person. Anyway, and Antonio Guterres on also chiremua and some near course so kwasoma abrofo de bibi man famu no adia na eni enyan na time because the ye bi mu no na enya dia fe. Personally, you can't have one as a person. And our communities, ye chichemu ye bi mu free mu ma fe de obekọ na akọ akamre wane nkokra ne nkra pe ene wo odiom ye hwe asebe ehonum no na enyeye ena families enso so ye yi amanfo omo family members na ye de omo ebi mu ehu omo papa da ebiem ebi mu ehu omo brothers omo sisters omo nua mema ne omo nua mam omo ehu omo bio wo honum enti ye ade a according to Antonio Guterres no enye ade papa omunyan ensem omo keka wo akire mostly no no hu ni say some kind of related to I mean men can say racism kakra wo ho na the other tato ana a picture also let us honor the victims of the transatlantic trade not only with our words but with our work enjina ochiremu a enye anokasa keke. Said the President John Dramani Mahama, Siki said, one, mun condemn it is the gravest crime ever to happen to humanity. Two, they should find ways and means or more ever compensate or more kind because Nina Kahumbi, according to President John Dramani Mahama, and on the man Africa, CCIT, said that Dodona Debia, yes, also caught. Amanone ni akopemwa eni ade ne de aba enti according to UN General Secretary omo age ensem no to mo omo ema my hodo na aka nyina omo ehye omo say omo make sure say they will follow suit na omo ahwe na reparations no atimi aye adwuma na omo nyai omo racial comments na omo emema ewo ho no. Now quickly we want to run you through how the voting went about to no sign a koye hwan mo na to ye hwan mo na nto why so na yes nka bi yenso so abane yen to bi enti ye be numbers no se how the voting went ewo honom Okay, producer Mame Bakono, the one that has just the numbers, according to the voting there by, share numbers now. Nkronkwa 123, Nkromako 123, Omo, and a two abano, Edema, President John Dramani Mahama, any AU, any Ghana, say ampa. Be mine and Quasmo, abrofo DFM, no, and yadia, na omo, any so. It's on your screens. Those who voted in favor, that is the member countries of the United Nations that voted in favor, President John Dramani Mahama's slave trade reparation motion, no, I don't know what screens, you know, 123 in favor. Almost all voted against, member countries, no, miensa. Almost also abstention. Is either they were absent or they decided not to even vote at all. And also 52. And no a war screens in the Sunday. So Kabumwa in Chrono Maku 178 and a two abanonti in 178 countries who were supposed to vote as at the time the motion was presented. No, Emu 123 voted in favor, Emu Miensa voted against, and Emu 52 also is either they were absent or they decided not to vote at all. Now, Omu voted in favor. No, yeah, we'll go through kakra. Then we come to those who voted against. What was their reason? And Diema Beinti na Chiremwa. Omo Entuabano and former President John Dramani Mahama ni AU and Ghana. Quickly, run down. We'll go through some of the countries that voted in favor, some that did not vote at all, and those who voted against. And a list of countries are almost a vote here. Two screens. And so then we'll go through it quickly. Here we are. They decided to vote against Omono countries being, and what was their reason? And here heard the countries, no, one after the other, yes. And on your screens, no, Albania, they were absent. And we hear Omo Edidasona, Albania, yellow nature said they were absent. And Algeria, they voted for. Country is Andorra, they were absent. Country is Angola, Antigua Barbuda, almost voted here in favor. Argentina is one of the countries that decided not to support the motion. They decided to go against President John Dramani Mahama's motion. They decided to go against African Union and Ghana's motion for slave reparations. And Argentina is one of the countries. In Armenia, Australia, they were a part of the abstention. Azerbaijan voted in favor. Bahamas and a list of countries. Chad, Chile, China, Colombia, Comoros, Congo, Costa Rica, Cote d'Ivoire, Croatia, absent. Cuba, as also Cyprus, and Czech Republic, absent. And Korea, and DR Congo also voted in favor. Denmark, absent. 3 countries now absent. 52, no, Greece, Hungary, Iceland, Ireland. Then another country that voted against is Israel. So we have Argentina who voted against. We have Israel too who also voted against President John Dramani Mahama's reparation motion or present here. Ireland ni Italy. And also Eka. Now here the very last country almost voted against United States of America. Almost so Eka. Almost any countries Argentina, Israel, and then USA. Omo voted against the motion. President John Dramani Mahama's motion. They voted against. Now, maybe I say UK forward here. The UK force also updates Bremo. Almost also what were they saying about the motion? Omo vote in the call saying but then the countries voted against USA, Israel, and Argentina. Quickly, President John Dramani Mahama, the time that he was addressing the UN General Assembly. President John Dramani Mahama. The reasons why US, Argentina, and Israel, they said they are not voting or they are voting against. Now, UK for also, what were they saying? Here, President John Dramani Mahama is here.
Thank you very much, Madam President. Your Excellency, Secretary General of the UN, Excellencies, permanent representatives, distinguished delegates, ladies and gentlemen. Progress is made in little steps. It is the forward motion towards something better, and changes often come incrementally. Today marks the International Day of Remembrance of the victims of slavery and the transatlantic slave trade. It is a day on which we honor the memory of the approximately 13 million African men, women, and children who were enslaved over the course of several centuries. We remember them through articles, oral histories, through broadcast programs, books, music, visits to museums, monuments, and memorials such as the Ark of Return, located right here at the Visitors Plaza of the United Nations headquarters. Through these activities, we do more than remember. We document and educate, we gain greater perspective, we find the delicate balance of learning from history so that we do not repeat it while leaving our pain behind. In doing so, we begin to heal individually within our immediate communities and also within the global community. This day of remembrance did not happen by accident. In 2006, our global community gathered here, just as we have done today, and resolved to designate the 25th of March of the following year a day of remembrance. It marked significant progress. Then the following year, in 2007, we decided to make the event an annual one so that the 25th March of every year would be the International Day of Remembrance of the victims of slavery and the transatlantic slave trade. That marked an additional step in our forward motion. And so it's indeed for teachers to be here today, 2 decades later, addressing the General Assembly on behalf of the African Group regarding the draft resolution entitled Declaration of the Trafficking of Enslaved Africans and Racialized Chattel Enslavement of Africans as the gravest crime against humanity. In September last year, at the 80th session of the General Assembly, I stood in this exact place and served notice that Ghana will move a motion to declare the transatlantic slave trade the gravest crime against humanity. This current draft resolution is a result of months of consultation and consensus building by continental bodies, nations, experts, scholars, and jurists, with the sole aim of achieving a united front and grounding the final outcome in truth, compassion, and moral conscience, remembrance, education, and dialogue. So today we come together in solemn solidarity to affirm truth and pursue a route to healing and reparative justice. The adoption of this resolution serves as a safeguard against forgetting. It also challenges the enduring scars of slavery. Madam President, let me conclude with 2 significant quotes by 2 great leaders of history, one of them white and one of them black. The former President of the United States of America, Theodore Roosevelt, said, and I quote, "With a great moral issue involved, neutrality does not serve righteousness. For to be neutral between right and wrong is to serve wrong." Again, civil rights leader Dr. Martin Luther King also reminds us, and I quote, "The arc of the moral universe is long, but it bends towards justice. We've traveled this long road, each step guided by a desire to be better and to do better. Each step bringing us closer to the kind of world we would want to leave for our children. And so, delegates, on this beautiful day in March, we're called to stand on the right side of history. Let it be recorded that when history beckoned, we did what was right for the memory of the millions who suffered the indignity of the slave trade and those who continue to suffer racial discrimination. Let our vote on this resolution restore their dignity and humanity. I thank you for the opportunity.
All right, I thank you for the opportunity. That was President John Dramani Mahama. The time or the presentation, our UN General Assembly, that is the time right after the presentation on abatono course so I de abatono hu ensunsan so de amamo ewo hono nti yes 123 in favor as against 3 they voted against 52 and omo decided say abatono de omo emfa omo ehu engim ewo ho quickly.